Wagwan, my bamba class. In the wise words of the YouTuber, the chubby YouTuber I was watching earlier. But let's get straight into it. Normally I do the big long intro and bam bam bam. Anyone who knows me knows I like a good old M4/AR-15, and anyone who's been around me this season will know that this bad boy, not this specific model, because they do 3 models. They do a sniper range, like a assault rifle range, which is the one here, and they do a CQB style short version. I think the barrel is somewhere about here, give or take. And essentially, yeah, this is basically the Poseidon. I think they call it the Avenger Plus. So yeah, so you guys can see the other side. I've been asked over and over again to review it. Finally, one of the man them, big up Henny Bear, he purchased it recently, and as he does, he brings me stuff for me to custom for him and figure out solutions to things that the manufacturer didn't. So I thought, you know what, let me put it on the channel, let me showcase it, let me talk about the goods and the bads of it. Plus, like I said, anyone who knows me knows I love a good M4, so I gotta kind of review it. Yeah, I'm saying it's kind of wrong if I don't review it. I have it around this and don't review it. So here we are. I'm gonna start with the boring stuff. So let me get the facts off the internet for ya. I couldn't, for some reason, find the info for this particular model, but I watched a lot of reviews. So like things like FPS is about 350, 340, somewhere around there with 2s. It's got basically a built-in Medusa ETU system. So anyone who understands what that is basically the trigger system that operates, giving you functionality. So things like binary, burst modes, the ability to switch what your selectors actually are. So if it's auto, you could switch it to burst, or if it's semi, you could switch that to auto, for example, etc. The ETU is very useful because I get a lot of people who ask me about these things, so I'm trying to explain them in this video. ETU can cover things like your battery voltage control. So it means that like you won't damage your gun through your battery, and there's something monitoring that. There's a computer monitoring that. Things like low battery protection, which means that when your battery gets a certain like lifespan, so say your battery is at 10%, the gun will shut itself down to save you damaging your battery or the gun, which is pretty cool. It tends to do like a beep thing, or some guns talk to you, different guns, different systems. So it's very useful for the newer player, especially even for us advanced players. It's useful for us because all these benefits save you buying batteries. I remember how much batteries I bought in the early side of things. I don't know if you guys remember the early YouTube videos, battery after battery after battery, because the guns just didn't protect these things. So it's wicked that this gun does that. But I'm gonna keep it moving. They say this got an integrated tracer unit, which is one of the things I would really like to test as a concept, because I just feel like that's a bit brazy that you've got a tracer built into an M4. So it kind of, all us players who play indoors or run night games and these things, this is amazing because now you don't actually need to buy an additional attachment. It comes in a gun. So that's something I did want to test to see how good it is and how it kind of works, because I'm assuming it's powered through the gearbox system. So I'm assuming there's a wire running from your hop-up system, or 2 wires running from your hop-up system into the actual gearbox shell. So it means that it would be powered from the battery. So at some point, like, I was trying to work out like, how the hell does this thing work? Like, you're gonna have to have another like wire, or like you're gonna have to have another battery somewhere. And yeah, so I kind of had to kind of mentally work out how this makes sense. But yeah, it looks like it's been powered by the gearbox, which makes disassembly that bit extra dangerous, because if it essentially means that your hop-up unit and your gearbox are one, maybe not all in one, they're probably separate, but they're connected by a wire. So if you let that wire rip, yeah, that integrated system goes out the window. And you also do have to still then worry about, you've got now 2 ports with nothing happening, just electric flowing to these 2 ports. So that may cause potential problems long term in your gearbox. So that's something to keep in mind for those of you who are buying this gun for customing and things like that, because if you bought this gun ready to put your own barrel setup in, you may have a problem, unless you were changing the gearbox also, and even there's problems. But we'll get to that. So you got the integrated tracer unit. So let's start with the boring stuff. You got M-lock rail, really nice. like Henry has done, or Henny Bear has done. He's mounted things to it, but I believe it does come empty. Pretty nice. It does feel okay, I will say that, without sounding wild for that. But it does kind of... I'm a rifleman, y'all know me. It does feel alright. I do feel like if your hands were a bit dry, like mine currently are, and you were to rub your hand too fast, there's a chance you might cut yourself at points, because it's metal. It does look like it's metal, CNC. And it does say that on the website, yeah, CNC aluminium lightweight handguard. M-lock handguard equipped with Medusa, ETC, S MOSFET system. So it's got a MOSFET in there, so it's not just the ETU, so that's nice to know. Some guns give you one or the other, and some guns give you both. Eye of Medusa AEG LED tracker hop-up unit. So it looks like they basically integrated their own hop-up system called Eye of Medusa AEG LED tracer. Supports red and greens apparently. I've got green, so I'll give that a test a bit later. High strength impact resistant bearings, 8mm version 2 gearbox. So that's like your standard entry level M4 stuff. Low battery space, rear wired DIN. So that is something we're gonna come back to, because that shit I don't like, but I'm gonna come back to that. 2 models. Well, that's a lie. There's 3 models. There's a CQB version, like I said. That there's this model, and then there's a DMR version. The DMR version is... Am I bugging? This is not... Yeah, this can't be the DMR version. Yeah, it definitely isn't, because there's a version called the Sniper. And I believe that's what I've got on my screen at the moment. But it does look a lot longer than that. 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so this is definitely not the Sniper one. This is the middle model, which I kind of like. Like it doesn't feel too long. And one thing... Wait, what is that? Okay, that's one of his bolts. I'm gonna tighten that for him, cause I'm thinking, what the hell is that? Rattle. And you know what? I'm gonna do that for him right now, because I don't like that rattling. But it does feel, one thing I will say is, it does feel like fairly firm. It does feel good quality. It is really lightweight. I think one of the biggest things that I'm still trying to get my mind around right now, I kind of want to pick the gun back up because of this, is the gun is like mad light for... How come I'm getting these sizes wrong? What are going on for me? One thing that's throwing me, like I said, is really light. Like, for an M4, I've owned quite a few M4s. I think this is the lightest M4. And it's slightly back heavy, but it's because the front is so light. Like, this is probably one of the lightest M4s I've probably been around. And I'm not talking about, when we say M4s, I'm not talking about these HPAs. Maybe I should say lightest AEG M4s. I've seen some really lightweight, Brother, what is going on today? It's like I'm finding every single size except for the blood clot one that I want, you know. But it's all good. We keep moving. Yeah, like probably one of, if not the lightest AEG I've come across this season. Yeah, it's just spinning out. That's the problem. 2 seconds, peeps. I'm gonna chat to you while I do this, because I see it's literally just come loose over time, and it's now so loose that unless I pull that forwards, it won't tighten. But okay, so we're talking about lightweightness, which for me I feel like is a good and a bad thing. I feel like it's a good and a bad thing, the lightweight thing, because I feel like for actual gameplay, like say when you're hopping around corners and things, he should have said, you know, they gave him some proper bolts for this as well. I can see he's used some random bolts, and I'm like, nigga, you got a tech brethren, bro. We'll give you some proper bolts for this, you know. We should put some nice bolts in the system. But I'll talk to him about that when I talk to him about that. But yeah, so like lightweight wise, I kind of like it because I feel like the front is really light. The thing for me is I wouldn't say it's balanced, because it's so light that, let me pull a bit closer so this makes sense for you guys as the viewers. I want you to actually really get what I'm saying. So let me back the camera down here so you can actually see me close by. So I think the thing for me, the problem for me is it comes down to this. And let me spin this. It comes down to this for me, is it's so light at front that you're now aware of the back end's weight, but it's not so heavy that you're like, oh fuck this gun, the gun's heavy. So it kind of confuses your brain every time you pick it up, because you're like, every time you go to do something like that, you're like, wow, it's like mad light front wise, because I could literally see myself tweaking in between shots because of this. But and you know what, I would say, I'm gonna put it this way, it's more of a good thing than a bad thing, because in them situations when you're trying to get around things, in them situations like mil sims when you're trying to play all day, bruv, you're not gonna get tired with this. Whereas something like a GBR, there's a good chance you are, because the weight of your mags plus the weight of the gun. But yeah, but I think for me it's getting my brain around this, because the gun is so light that I could see myself at points like leaning around something because I'm like maybe sprinting and falling off balance because there's no real weight to the gun. And because you've got this little back end weight, it kind of makes you think the gun has weight, and that's what I'm saying, that's what would unstable me. But that's just me as a player. To the average player, that probably won't happen. Maybe a noob might have issues like it as well running with this, because if you lose your footing, the gun is so light, you stabilizing within that second will be a problem. But I guess until you've got the gun in front of you, what I'm saying might not make sense, because I'm telling you, every time I pick it up, I see it's like my brain gets excited for a second, because it's like, bloody hell, this thing's so light. But then my brain starts to panic, because my brain's like, this back end weight doesn't make sense, like it. But when you have one of the guns, when you go to a gun shop, pick it up, and if you disagree with me, comment. Do you know what I'm saying? It would be nice to have this discussion around this, but without spending too much time around that. So like I said, they've got the M-LOK handguard CNC. It is nice, it does feel good. I would advise wearing gloves, because I could eventually see in these edges getting sharp and cutting you. Like I said, if you rubbed your hand too fast and your hand was dry, you could potentially cut yourself. But it's nice feeling, it's comfortable, and like you've seen Henny Bear do, you can mount what you want to mount. I do believe it comes with these two front sights like you see stock. Nothing really special, a bit plasticky. Let's have a look down them. To be fair, they look alright for what they are. In practicality, they're really nice. They're plasticky, I won't lie to you. Yeah, very plasticky, but to be fair, like I always say this to people, especially with new guns, like for me, I prefer this than solid steel ones of iron sights, because they do what I need them to do. I've seen some companies spend bare money on CNC'd ones, and they come and they don't do what you need them to do. So for me to straight out of the box, they're a bit flimsy. I will say that. I wish the locking system was a bit more firm, because that's a bit flimsy. I could see myself putting them up, and while running past a tree just knocking it like that. I'm going to aim, and now I can't aim properly. So that's the one thing I would have said. I wish there was more retention to the sights, but apart from that, they're alright for what they are. Yeah, and they're both like that. But I'm guessing maybe you could, let's have a look. Yeah, you can tighten that. So that's what I'm saying is, might not be changeable on the front one though. So it isn't changeable on the front one. Yeah, because you see it's just like a rolling system, so there's no real place to tighten it. So on the front one you can't do it, because it's just literally on a rolling bar, as you can see. So I don't think there is actually a way to tighten that on the front one. But on the back one, it's got like this bolt thing. So I guess what you'd have to do is, like, from this angle, if I can show you guys, hold this and then obviously tighten that with an Allen key, because you can see it's just spinning. But I guess that's its adjustment tool for where it should be centered. So you kind of wouldn't want it tight until you found it, and you probably wouldn't want it fully tight, because during the gameplay you might want to adjust that for elevation and all these things depending on the distance you're playing at. So yeah, probably smart that they've left it that way inclined. The adjusting on the front, yeah, really nice. I like the click thing. I don't know if you can hear it. It's not very loud, but I like it. There's some companies I've used and you do that and it doesn't actually do any noise. You kind of have to guess as you're going along. So I kind of like that functionality. And like I said, I do like the back one. The back one seems very yeah, man, like I'm an iron sight man, so for me to say it's entry, I can deal with it. It's nothing amazing. Yeah, you know you're onto something good there. Henny Bear's already fitted an aftermarket tracer on this, so I've turned this off so that doesn't affect the testing I'm gonna do later to test their integrated system. So obviously this isn't the end that would come on it, but it just looks like a standard stubby, like you know the stubby ones that tend to come on there, the little small ones. Yeah, standard that normally comes on there. Barrel length, do you know what, this is what I was saying, I was struggling to find information about this bad boy. I ended up having to go and look for the sniper one to get information. So high strength it's meant to come with a 220 round mid-cap magazine, which I find is pretty nice. 220 rounds and it's mid-cap. That's basically like how what's that company, man, the company with the strong springs, can't remember the name of the company, but the company, if are they EMG, not EMG, I can't remember the name of the company, but there's this company that everybody runs their mags at the moment. 220 rounds, 250 rounds, 170 rounders, and they are good mags. I just feel like they're overpriced for what you're getting, because all they're doing is improving the spring that's within it. And don't get me wrong, the mags look cool, but me personally, at 35 quid a mag, 2 mags that's £70, 4 mags that's £140, and it's an AEG mag. Are you having a laugh? Like, for gas blowback, cool in it, but you're violating me for that price. So I kind of stayed away from it, and it seems that they're duplicating that system. So I'm gonna have to maybe look at what Poseidon retails that mag for, because if that mag isn't a thieving price, I might invest, because it's basically that. I can't remember the name of the mag, you know, but anyone who knows airsoft, they'll know the mag straight away I'm talking about. I just can't think of what the mag is called at the moment. Yeah, so it looks like Poseidon's done something, so it would be nice to be able to compare one of their mags. Unfortunately, Henny Bear didn't give me that mag to test this with, but we should be alright regardless. I can grab that mag off him at some point and give it a test. The stock has 3 collapsible positions, so we can move to the back of the gun quickly. So it has like this clip system, so it locks in, and then it has like a release clip system, so you click those 2 buttons on either end, and then that goes shooting, and then it locks into position 1, I'm guessing. Position 2. Oh no, that's position 3. So that's position 3. No, yeah, position 3, position 2, position 1. So position 2, position 3, position 2, position 1. It is a bit finicky for my liking personally. This would annoy me on a day that I'm trying to be really quick, but if I'm to be honest, because I've seen this build quality before, it just reminds me of a Double Eagle Honey Badger or a Double Eagle 556. It basically just is a duplicate of that. Like, even now I'm looking at the gun, it actually even makes sense, like the printing style on the gun and where the things are located. Yeah, so oh yeah, let me talk about other things. I do like the flat trigger, because if you all watch the channel, you know most of the guns I end up opening them once I bought them to try and install a flat trigger. So well done Poseidon on that. Selector switch is ambidextrous. I can switch it from that side, and that side does feel solid. The one thing I will say is we got to see after maybe 3-4 months worth of use if that stays the same, because I've seen guns that brag about that, and then once you do really take them out, it's not that great, bro. Like, they start breaking and don't move, and then sometimes this one's on semi and the other one's on auto, and you're like, what the hell's going on? So we'll have to have a look. At the moment, it does feel really good on both sides. Normally that secondary side can feel a bit shaky. It feels all right for the moment. I do feel like it's something that I'm gonna have to look into, because even now, give me 1 sec. I remember this was something that Henny Bear said on the day, and he was like, oh, I feel like the selector switch is just so loose, but I feel like that's something Poseidon's done for the user's benefit. Like, its turnability is really good, but I'm gonna try and tighten that for him and see if it makes any difference. To be honest, I feel like that side's done, so I'm gonna do the other side for him, because that was one thing he said on the day. He was like, the selector switch is so bloody loose, and I tried it myself, and then I kind of was like, all right, this is where my job as your friend and as a tech is to tell you how the game works. Like, this is done for your benefit. Like, this is actually quite a smooth turning selector. But I understand why he said what he said, because the way he plays, even the way his hands rest on things, he will be in mid gameplay and he might switch something. So that's his worry. But the thing I like about their system is everything is so clicky. Click, click, click. Even this is like everything's clicky. So if you use your airs, I get on a battlefield it might be gunfire, flashbangs going off, but if you actually are focused, even just feeling wise, because I can feel the click on the body. Yeah, I'm saying again, in gameplay you got gloves on and rare, but still, like, if you focus enough, you can hear that. Semi, auto, semi, safe. Yeah, like, I think I've tightened it. So if you're watching Henny Bear, that's another thing solved for you, and you just saw I tightened the other thing there for you. Mag release looks nice. It's only one-sided. It is from the right-hand side, but it does feel nice. A nice big thumb pad to kind of use. Flip this around so you guys can see it. Nice big thumb pad, which does feel comfortable. I will say that. Doesn't feel forced. It feels like I've still got movement of where my finger is. Yeah, it does feel good. Let's test the mag. Oh, that's not good. Let's try that slowly then. Okay, so it likes it slow. She's a bilge bitch. She likes it slow. Cause look, I had to like, yeah, I'm gonna have to try another mag just to be sure if it's just that mag. Yeah, she's a bougie bitch. You don't like, but you liked when I did it with that mag. Mad. Okay, let me try another mag. Maybe even another 2 mags. Cause this is interesting. Those mags are not EMG. What are they? Not Vulcan. I think those are TTI mags if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that. I think they might be TTI mags. I might be wrong though. But actually, tell a lie. I can tell you exactly what they are in 2 seconds. Because I'm going to order some more. And I've got the slider open. 2 seconds. Where are these mags? Where are these mags? Aries. So they're Aries M4 mags. So I'd say that they're a bit shaky in the gun. Like, they do go in, but I feel like you kind of got to like wobble them in. I feel like if you did that and slammed it too hard, you'd have a chance of breaking your feed section, or the lip bit on your feed section. So we got a Vulcan mag here, high cap. That went in straight away. So it does like Vulcans. Yeah, it does like Vulcan. Probably not the best, because if you notice, every so often it offlines itself and I've got to kind of reline it. So probably not the best fitting mag, but 8 times out of 10 it's making it. So yeah, not a bad fit. This is a new, is it new pro? That's actually a good question. Is this new pro? No, this is all these brand names to remember. This is not Aries, this is not new pro. It's basically one of them cheap brands, man. I think this mag was like 15 quid or something. What is the name of the brand? I can't think of the name of the brand, but it's one of them cheap mags. It might even be new pro, you know. Cause I'm thinking about it. I remember it being tanned. Yeah, it might even be a new pro mag, if I'm correct. It might even be a new pro. If it's not new pro, it's one of them brands around that same range of new pro, because it wasn't expensive. It was just £15, but it's because well, maybe even a bit less, so probably like £13, and I only paid that because it's a 200 rounder and it's a mid cap, no winding. It does like that, so that's a nice snug fit, not any movement. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like their hop chamber though, because or their mag well, should I say? Sometimes it feels like every single mag I've tried, and keep in mind I've tried 3 mags. Yeah, every mag seems to have like this finding system, and I think I get what it is, because there's like this weird space between the hop and the front of the body, whereas most of the bodies that I tend to install, like even my current gun, which is something I wanted to talk about when talking about this gun, is they seat very close to this front panel. Move these out of the way. They seat very close, so what it would be is like you'd have the lip that connects sitting right here. So say this is the lip, it'd be sitting so close to the body, so literally like less than half an inch, whereas with this one it's not by much, but it's seating about here. So you see that gap, I could fit a finger in there, or at least 3/4, or even at least half my finger. So I reckon that's probably where that's happening, because if you look at the science of it, look, not even a half a finger can fit there. The lip is so close. And it's like that with all the mags. Some of them vary it. There's like a little 0.2 added or a little 0.2 taken away. But if you notice, they tend to be the same kind of variance between the edge of the mag and where the feed lip begins. And I think that's maybe the issue that Poseidon are having here. Because they go in, don't get me wrong, they go in, but I could see myself, look right there, it's still like, ugh. I could see myself in a situation, if this was my game gun, especially if it was my competition or hardcore gameplay gun, I could see myself at points reloading and going bam and smashing up that hop up chamber, because that seating problem, and it's something they've given us as a problem. Because if you look down the gun, I'll show you quickly. If you look down the gun, you can see the gap. And most M4s have this, but this is quite a big gap. And I think maybe that's why you're having that issue. Also, see the thing I was talking about earlier, where I said I think what's happening is there's a wire running from the hop up into the gearbox. That's the truth. And look, Henry's got a BB stuck in his chamber. I have to be careful though, because I don't want to rip his wire. I might have to take the gun down. Ah, there we are. Are you coming? There we are. He had the BB stuck in there. Imagine. But yeah, you can essentially see like there's a wire running from the hop up arm straight into the gearbox. So I'm assuming that's how that tracer unit that's in the hop up is powered. I'm not going to do a pull down video unless you guys request it, because I don't feel like I need to, and the stuff he's asking me to do is very basic stuff. It's just like a once over, clean a barrel and maybe change a motor and do some testing and stuff. So I'm not going to do too much work to it. It's not my gun. I don't want to undo what Poseidon has done, but so far so good. What else can I show you? The catch is non-functional, it's just there for show. I know there's some models like the Double Eagle Honey Badger, when you do that it kind of locks back and then you have to click the release catch. But yeah, this one is it's just a dummy one, it doesn't do anything. You'd have to directly hold your charging handle back. I don't like the charging handle, that's not quality. Yeah, I'm gonna go bring my G&G and show you guys. That's disrespectful. How dare you charge me £300 for a gun and give me that? Do you know what as well? I'm gonna show you on a cheap ass gun as well, so you guys can see they're violating. You give me a programmable ETU and then you think you can violate me, bro. I hate when companies do that. Don't give me one little add-on, which by now airsoft guns should have, and then fill me with bare bullshit. Because there's bare things I'm gonna get there. I just don't want the video to be too long, and I want to give the benefits, because it's a good gun. It is a good gun. I want to show you something quick. This is a cheap ass Flex. What is it, a Flex 1, Flex 2? I think it's a Flex 1 or Flex 2 from Spectre Arms. Yeah, have a look at this, bruv. Do you see the quality on that? Spring quality, return quality. And I want to show you something. I didn't just hurt my hand pulling my own charging handle, and it's not even the most expensive charging handle. It's not even the most greatest charging handle. And I'll show you from the other side, so you see I'm not taking a piss. Return perfect. And this is an old gun, you know. Do you see that? I ain't even gonna go and show you my expensive M4 because my expensive M4 is gonna piss all over that. I'm angry about that. I didn't realize that about the gun before, and some people might be like, oh, why is that a big thing, bruv? I have to adjust my hop, right? So every time I adjust my hop, I have to almost lose my finger. Brother, that's shambles. Whoever on your design team designed this, box them and fire them, bro. How dare you? I literally just clicked it. I was in shock. It feels... If this is CNC'd, yeah, y'all can tell me, because there's bare CNC they're bragging on their website, and I won't lie, it looks like the front row, so this probably is CNC. This is not good quality. Every time I touch it, it's like I can feel a layer of my skin missing. That's crap. Functionality shit. The spring feels pretty good, I will say that. Not gonna be biased, the return on the spring is pretty good. Return on the spring is good. The charging handle is shit. The little time, I want to show you something. The little time, I feel like it started to almost cut open my hands as well. The little time, yeah, look at, my hands are dry anyway today. Allow me, I just washed them 20 minutes ago, so that's why they're dry right now. If you don't oil back your hands or lotion them, this is what happens. But can I just show you something? The little times I've been handling the gun, look at my hands already. And may I just point out, look at what that charging handle has done to my thumb. But hey, let's keep it moving. Charging handle is trash. If you got soft hands, set that hop from home the night before the game and don't touch it. And if you need to adjust it on the day, adjust it and just don't touch it. That's gonna destroy your hands and potentially your gloves over the season. Depends on how good of gloves you've got. If you got good gloves, then it don't really matter. It will be alright. What else can I show you? So your hop wheel, just like anything, you can pull back and adjust from there. It looks like your cylinder is a red cylinder, because if you notice, we're getting some red in the middle there, and then by the time it clears, it normalizes back out to grey, which I believe is the gearbox, the metal gearbox, or silver. You've got this white hop, which I believe is where the tracer unit and all of that's happening. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. I feel like we've just been chatting, and then I'll tell you afterwards. So I want you to hear what the gun sounds like on semi and on auto. And to be fair, I might just let you hear what the gun sounds like point blank, because Henny Bear's already pre-programmed this, so I think it might be in 5 or 10 round burst anyway. And I'm gonna use a different battery. And don't be like Henny Bear, use a better quality battery. This is a nice gun. Henny, you should use a better battery. Therefore, don't use a 7.4. It will work with it because that's what he's been using. But you want something better than this, and you want something that looks more healthy. Henny Bear, don't do this again. Safety first. Safety first. I might treat him to a new battery as a gift, because this is not one of boys quality. I want to treat him to a battery. Let me go grab a battery quick. But yeah, so far so good. I have my bad bits, I have my good bits to say about it. At this stage, I feel like it's more good than bad, but I feel like the bads are a bit bad. Moving on to my next point. So like I said prior, let me show you, because I need to show you how to actually do this, right? So let's put this back together and show you guys how this operates to take it down, because then you guys can watch this video as a like walkthrough. Okay, so to remove your stock EG, put a battery in, you literally just click those two buttons like we showed earlier. That pops out. You're gonna pull. That's gonna come loose. You're gonna let go. You're gonna pop that to one side. Yep. There's a little knob head at the end. It basically is held in by this little bar right here, and this little clip at the top. You literally just want to apply pressure at the top right here, and if you notice, as soon as I did it, I'll put it back in. As soon as I applied pressure to the top right here, it leans out, and then you kind of just like carry on the process, and that bottom line will kind of come out by itself as you kind of follow that process. It runs Deans, which is actually a good thing. My problem is, look at the battery compartment, how tiny that is. Your battery compartment is from about here to here. Now most batteries ain't that size. Most good batteries ain't that size. So if you're planning to buy this gun, make sure you pick wisely with batteries and battery size. And also, if not, just change out the stock. I don't know why they put the PDW stock. They should have put a Bomber Clock M4 stock and you'd have been fine. I'm saying, but each of their own, eh? They were trying to probably make the gun look cool and tactical by adding all of this stuff, but the M4 would have, I personally think the M4 would have looked better without all of this. Because what they've done is they've put a cutout into the body that if you ever remove this stock, some people's going to be looking at you like, why is there this big chunk cut out of in your gun? So you're kind of like stuck with it now, unless you want 101 questions about why is there this big chunk missing. So I guess they kind of boxed you into a box where unless you want questions, you're going to leave it, right? I just feel like it kind of looks like almost alien like, but maybe I'm just overthinking this. It's because I take so much guns, I've never seen this, and it's quite raised. Like, may I just show you how tall this thing is? It's almost the height of my finger, if not the same height as my finger, so it's quite tall. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's quite tall. Like, but each of their own. If this was my gun, I would defo change out that stock just for battery sake though, because I like battery storage space, man. So I'm using a 20C 11.1 600 milliamp by Rebel. I'd probably recommend for a gun like this a 25C, maybe even a 30C 11.1 volt, whatever milliamp, as long as you can get to fit in the compartment, battery compartment, because that's the real problem here, sizing. So let's chuck that in. So you get the beep just to let you know the battery is active. Battery problems have already begun, because you can see, like, look, the compartment's so small. Look, I've only just got the gun. This is the first time I'm plugging a battery into the gun. Look at this already. It's just problematic. I think that's my one thing with, because I can speak on this because I've spent a lot of money on guns that have the same problem. The Double Eagle Honey Badger, because look, like, it's like, what do they want you to do? You're gonna damage. And you know what, while we're here, I'm gonna put some wire in, some electric tape, because that's not healthy. This is how fires happen. 2 seconds, people. I just want my broski to be safe, because I know Henry games his guns hard at points, so I want to just make sure he's safe. It hasn't ripped, but the protective covering for the wiring is basically chewed through. So I'm like, if you were to bend that wire and then get past that last little layer of covering, and let's just remove this first set, that battery, you would have problems because your wires aren't far from being exposed. Whereas at least if I electric tape a few layers, that junction, if you want to talk, of the wire becomes stronger to bending, so you have less potential off stripping that wire, and it's less chance of just fires and all these things. So I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna just do this quick. It takes 2 seconds and it will just save that. And this is a new gun. He's probably gamed this maybe like 2 times at most, so it's interesting to see. But I have one thing I will say, this is not him. I'm not getting at him. This is a problem with the suppliers, because it's the same, like I said, the Double Eagle 556 and the Double Eagle Honey Badger is the same problem, because they've got the same stock like this, or at least some of them, one of their models have the same stock or stock system as this, the PDW system thing. It just doesn't give you enough adequate space to run a battery, because look how small this battery is, and I'm still having trouble getting it in. And it's more just because of the wiring. Like, obviously the wire needs space to be housed as well as the battery, so it's more the wiring at this point than anything, because I'm trying to not bend up his wire, which is also why I'm thinking, let me just do this, because at least if I do this, I know that like I'm saying, that junction of the wire has a lot more strength. So 2 seconds. Where's my lighter? Just get that to seal. This wasn't even meant to be a tech video, so that's probably not a good start. The fact that I'm having to tech a gun, that's new. But I'm gonna get there, because I know what the problem is here. I know what the problem is. I spoke about this when I did the unboxing last year. So I'm literally just gonna chuck the battery back in. We heard the double beep. I'm gonna try and get this wire to seat in a way that I'm not breaking anything. I kind of want to bend the wire in there, but I'm just like, that doesn't look healthy, bro. Yeah, maybe a curl is a better option. But yeah, you guys failed Poseidon on this, because I'm a tech guy, and even me, I'm a bit concerned where to put the battery and how. And like I said, look how tiny my battery is, and I'm just getting away with it now. And I still feel like, you're an honest truth, I still feel like everything is bent up inside the system. It's bent in a, let me just adjust that. It's bent in a justifiable way, so I'll show you quick. Like, nothing's bent to an extent where it's damaged, but this isn't adequate, Poseidon. This is not adequate. Look how tiny my battery is, and look, I'm just about making it. Come on, man. Y'all should know better. Like I said, Double Eagle been doing this for the last 3 years with the Honey Badger and the 556, and they dropped a new model recently which has the same problem. And it's like, can you guys not design a PDW stock that actually just works? I like the slidey system. The slidey system works, but all this cut out of the body, and bruv, this is just nuts. This looks terrible. And then it's like, okay, let me maybe stop quickly. I have this chunky thing. I have minimal battery space for what? Oh, just so that you got this quick stock to move backwards and forwards. The standard M4 stock does that. It probably doesn't look as cool as this does, but I'd prefer functionality over cool looks, because you gave me this fuck up chunky thing, less battery space for 2 pieces of metal and some plastic. Come on, man. But anyways, I'm gonna keep it moving. So Semi, ooh, she sound nice though, innit? And like you can see, that's pretty cool though. Kind of like that. That is really cool. So it looks like it lights up every time, which is kind of cool, because it's like the gearbox is like I showed you earlier. It's like the gearbox is talking to that wiring in the system. You may have a problem if you ever have to do a buck-end change or something like that though, because realistically, if they're both connected, and you can see it's some skinny ass little wires, if you were to pull too hard, and say for example, anyone who does teching, you'll know what I'm saying, when you remove this bar and then you pull this back, and then the system starts moving forward and separating, you now have this issue where your hop up arm and your barrel is still in the front end, and obviously your gearbox and all of that is in the bottom section. Sometimes they keep connected, sometimes they don't. Now in this scenario, you'd want them to stay connected, because at least then you can manually take the hop up off. In this situation, if it was to stay in the upper as you pulled it across, that might rip, because look, it's two flimsy ass wires. So another potential issue for me would be, I would have preferred if Poseidon, you created something more viable, because this makes me not want to take a gun down, and I'm a tech. Do you get what I'm saying? So the average user ain't gonna want to take this down unless they've got money to re-buy back this hop-up system and wiring. And my other thing would be is, does it wire directly into the gearbox or on the outside shell somewhere? Because if it wires into the gearbox, you'd have to rebuild the gun every time your hop-up breaks. Because think about it, if the moment that cable, them 2 power cables break, and they're probably data cables as well, the moment they break, what happens? Because obviously there's, like I said, there's 2, I was saying this to my friend earlier, there's 2 pins that would be sitting inside the gearbox that have nothing on them, so no power supply connected to them, and they're firing power, because obviously the battery is sending power to the gearbox. So for me, that's a bit problematic. They kind of box their buyer to keep the system that's in there, and if this ever breaks, you're kind of fucked. You're better off just buying a new gun, because unless you're willing to spend the money for somebody to rebuild the gearbox and then rebuild the hop to be wired, it's just a pointless thing. So yeah, like if you buy one of these, don't open them, use it till it breaks, and then bring it to a suitable tech, because then he can advise you. And I feel like even me sitting here as a tech, if somebody bought me one of these with that problem, I'd ask them how much they're willing to spend even before I open the gun, because unless you're willing to spend 2 bills, I'm not touching this. Because even think about the concept. Look, you can even see it. It's wired into the gearbox, bruv. I can see it's going into the lower half of the shell. I kind of want to open this so I can see is it actually inside? Because there's ways, the problem I'm listing, there's solutions, and I know as a tech how to fix these things, but I wouldn't wire it into the gearbox. I'd wire it to a component on the gearbox, because then it would be like a, you know how like Game Boys have like the thread system that you kind of plug in and clamp down. That's how I would do it, so that every time you take the body down, all you'd have to do is unclip that and you're done. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas if it's wired into the gearbox, like I said, you're kind of fucked. Like you're kind of fucked taking this gun down. It's doable, but it means that your hop up always has to be right next to your gearbox, which, like I said, when you're doing gearbox work, that's not ideal, bruv. That's just not ideal, G. Like, it's doable, but it's not ideal. So that's a red flag for me straight off top. But the semi sounds snappy. Trigger response is amazing. Trigger response, even the gearbox and all of that, it sounds healthy. Bit of auto in there. Ooh, auto sounds very snappy. I'd love to hear what an upgraded motor sounds like in this, because I was watching a review video, and maybe I should go into that, because straight after this I'm gonna do some shoot testing, come update you guys back, and I think I'm done here, because it's a great gun, but it's just, I feel like yeah, that's what I was saying. I'd like to hear an upgraded motor in here, because the shell of this, but the shell design of this body is basically a double eagle honey badger or double eagle 556. So if you have one of these guns and you are looking at this gun, don't even bother buy it unless you want the integrated system with the tracer, because you basically have the same thing, bro. You probably don't have the app support that Medusa are. I should do that right now for you guys. So they offer an app. Called the Medusa app by Poseidon, and basically what the app does is it allows you, like you can see right here, it picks up your device, and if it will actually connect, once it connects, it allows you to, leave me alone Netflix, trying to sell me stuff to watch. Once it actually allows you to connect, it will basically tell you things about the gun. So it's telling me that I've switched to semi, it's telling me I'm now on auto. I'm gonna set his auto to 2-round bursts. I'm gonna set it back afterwards, because I'm basically using this gun myself on Thursday. We're gonna go Modern Warriors new CQB site, give that a test. So we'll give this a quick try just to see if it's doing what we want it to do. So that's 1-2, wicked. And then I'm gonna flick this back to semi. Will it turn the switch for me? That would be so hard if it, okay, so it doesn't. You have to turn the switch and then it will go back to it. Semi is 1 burst. So they don't look like there's any binary system, so that's good to know. So this is what I was also saying to you guys. Anyone who has a 556 or a honey badger, just hold on to your gun, bruv. I'm not talking about the other brands ones, like Aries and all of that, but if you have a double eagle, bro, just hold on to your gun, because it's the same thing. The only thing they've done is the integrated system. The motor, bruv, it's the same thing. That what do they call it? The advanced motor. It's the same thing. And then if you look at their shell is basically a mix between Double Eagles 556, but the older model, you know, the short one that I had this last season. It's a mix of that and a mix of I said it the other day, a honey badger, double eagle honey badger, the short edition. It's a mix of those two gearboxes. So no, I don't want to name and shame, but I have to name and shame these companies, because they're just doing 1-2 things and then they're talking all this smoke, bro. There's nothing major here. That if there's anything, do you want to know? This is what I would have said they did. What they did was they took a honey badger, they strapped the Medusa system support to that, and they added an integrated tracer system, and they're selling you the same gun. I'm telling you, I was so close to buying this, but now I've got my hands on it. I'm like, it's nice if you don't have a 30 M4, but if you already have an M4, you know what I'm saying? And I basically got Hellcat, old school, built up, amped up, new cylinder. So it would be stupid me buying this, because maybe distance wise this will outshoot my gun because it's got a longer barrel, but performance wise definitely not. I like the app support though, but my gun also has app support. You just have to connect via a wire to get the app support. That's the only annoying thing. But it's because my system's from a lot old. Like I have the original gate Titan system in my gun. But yes. Anyways, back over. Is that binary? Is that a binary switch? Let me see quick. Ooh, it does have binary. Okay, I take that back, guys. It does have binary. So if you have a look, I'm gonna leave that on. I'm gonna leave that on. I'm gonna have to reset this back up for Henry though. What's that? Is that no? Oh, tracer. Oh, that's really cool. So you can switch your tracer on and off. That is handy. That's really handy. Because my concern when I saw it do that, I was very concerned that what might happen is like you'd just burn your battery so fast, because even when you're not trying to trace, you're tracing. So this is nice. You can switch the tracer function off, and I'll show you quickly. I like their nozzle. Their nozzle looks like it's red. It looks really nice, to be fair. The shimming on the, what's it called? The gearbox. The shimming on the gearbox and the, what is the thing called? Tapper plate. Is it tapper plate? Tapper plate? Yeah. Tapper plate. The tapper plate is done really well. I can see where your nozzle is linking out and where it shoots in to shoot and return. That's done really well. So I'll give them that. Whoever worked on that side of stuff, really good. This is a lot better than Honey Badger's 556, and the nozzle looks a little better. So I will. Do you know what? I'll give you that. What I will say, because I don't want to sound like I'm just mad at the gun for no reason, because I really ain't. Like, it's a good weapon. Like, if Henny Bear was gonna sell this, I probably would buy it off him, but I would just change everything about. I would change these things I'm listing. Maybe the stock change. Yeah, maybe just the stock change so far, and maybe the motor, because it sounds fast, but it could be better. I can hear the gun is asking me for more. You can hear it's not at its optimum performance at the moment. I love the app support. That's good to know. I just turned the battery function up, and you can even hear the performance difference. That's so interesting. That's so mad, bro. You can actually change the battery performance. I've never seen an ETU do that. So far the voltage is 12.2, 16A, so I'm not even getting the full output, which is alright. Temperature 27%. I like the fact that it's keeping an eye on the gun's temperature. That's a really cool function, because it means in between games I could come out into the safe zone and just gun check through the app. How is my gun doing? Is it performing alright? Am I worried? Whereas you see with my gun, as like I was saying to you, the Joker's M4 that I finished the build on, that because I don't have app support without a wire or without hardcore connection, that sometimes worries me. I've never had the gun shut down because overheating, but I'm saying as a user you can be a bit worried, because I've had points people bring the gun back over to me and they're like, oh, your motor's mad hot and rare, and I'm saying to them, yeah, like, because you just been autoing for the last 45 minutes with a gun that shoots 40 rounds per second. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Give the gun a chance to cool down. Whereas I feel like with a gun like this, you see, like, as we're sitting here talking, I've already seen that the gun's cooled down by 1 degree Celsius, and that's nice, because it means that when we're in the safe zone chatting, I could just be looking like this, my gun's cooled back down, or nah, my gun's way too hot, I'm gonna use my pistol instead, or stuff like that. So I feel like for a person who's maybe new to airsoft, doesn't have much in their loadout, this is looking like a good contender. For what it was built for, yeah, this is looking like a good contender. Like I said, if Henry was gonna sell this, it's something I would be slightly open to. Because I like this functionality of change the amount of rounds, sensitivity. That's another thing I wanted to work out. Sensitivity, what the hell does that mean? Because it seems to be giving you different sensitivities on
Chair and all of that. We saying part 20, the finale. Imagine, live sessions is done for me. It's crazy. I remember when we recorded part 1, 2 and 3. Remember when we shot the first couple of videos. It's crazy. God is great, eh? Here but I'm gone, guess we rarely speaking. Big Zubber and brown juice, the beat kicks in. Reminisce about old days, the barrel spin. Now I pour out my pain just to see win-win. Pray for them, the next gens, they sin. Go so hard in this thing and have no next of kin. It's so sad in this life, what we do to win. They just lined up a upper. Ain't no shape up thing, survival of the fittest. No one showing pity. Reporting from a first hand view. I love my city, 12 loco be circulating. If you slip, then they're escalating. Watch your team close, yeah, they're penetrating. More time the ones that phony be hesitating. Forever shaking, you a foe if I ain't mistaken. Stayed so loyal to the cause when my back was breaking. Hand on heart, looked me in my eyes, but you was faking. Heart was breaking, I was trying to heal cause I was aching. I tell them chase your dreams, build this music, it's a faith thing.